ठीक. Hello friends. So let us start with today's discussion, that is anthropology as an optional. Why you should choose anthropology. So anthropology as an optional. Why to choose? Before we begin, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Sudhir Kumar. I am a master's in anthropology and I am a research scholar in it. Also, I have an extensive experience with the UPSC Civil Services examination. I have appeared in 5 civil services interviews, and with that, let me share some of the details about anthropology, and which will be very useful when you are going to opt any optional subject in UPSC. I will share you some insights that will help you to decide what is right for you and with which optional you can score a very decent score. It will help you to qualify this examination with ease. So when I was doing this research and when I was thinking about the number of reasons that why anthropology is a very popular optional, although this anthropology just after on the other side that UPSC, that other side of UPSC in academia, in academics you don't see anthropology is a very popular discipline, but in UPSC it is. So what are the reasons for it? So let me tell you a few reasons that that will help you to decide that whether you should choose this or not. So this is popular because it is highly scoring and it has a relatively high success rate also. Okay. The second reason plausibly that why people opt this is that it is very interesting. See, if you do not have interest in any subject, you cannot study this for longer period of time, and if you do not study that, naturally you cannot score well also. So the second reason that I found is the interest in the subject. With reason for this is that it has a very short syllabus. The syllabus is static and the nature of questions is direct, straightforward, direct or straightforward. Fourth most important point why anthropology is popular is because it has a significant overlap of its syllabus with GS, essay, etc. And the final point that I see is that its holistic approach and ease for people from all backgrounds. all backgrounds. So these are few things that will help you to make a right choice. Let me elaborate on all these 6 points that I have just noted down in front of you. See, you just Google it and you will find the average score in anthropology is pretty decent if you compare it with humanities or with the sciences. The reason for this is that it is a unique blend. Anthropology is a unique blend of sciences and social sciences. So it is a combination of the two. The scientific nature of this discipline gives it a degree of objectivity, and that objectivity basically gives us better score than other disciplines when we compare it. The score in optional is the key to a happy score in the finals and a better rank in the final list is the product of the score in your optional subject. So that is where this score is very, very important for you to see, right? The second thing is that it is very interesting. Anthropology is very interesting. Why it is interesting? Why anthropology is interesting is, you can see from definition of anthropology from the father of anthropology. Aristotle is the father of anthropology. He says that anthropology is a gossip which revolves around men. And who do not like gossip? किसको gossip अच्छी नहीं लगती? Gossip तो सभी को अच्छी लगती है, और खास करके खुद के बारे में gossip तो बहुत अच्छी लगती है. अगर आजकल आप ऑडिबल एक काफ़ी पॉपुलर एक अमेजन का प्रोडक्ट है जो आप लोग सुनते होंगे, ऑन दैट देयर इज ए एडवर्टाइजमेंट nowadays that you talk to the people about themselves and they will listen for hours. That line signifies something. That line shows that in which things you are interested, we humans are interested. So we are interested about ourselves, right? About our nature, about our behavior, because we know that our behavior is the complex in this animal kingdom, most complex in this animal kingdom. We live in a society. We have elaborate culture and traditions, values, norms, folklores, folkways, and so on and so forth. And these things basically, if you keep on digging on these things, if you keep on searching and exploring all these things, you will find more and more curiosity and more interest. You will find that there are different kind of people altogether in different cultures and societies. You will find a lot of information about varied and bizarre cultures across the world, about the marriage systems, religious practices, family types, the type of economic organizations found across the world, as well as the political systems. We think that political systems that we live in, democracy is one form, and the Chinese Communist Party autocratic is one, but no, there are many beautiful institutions, wonderful institutions, and people are managing their affairs according to their own cultural traditions. You will find some societies practice cannibalism. Some societies practice cousin marriage. In some societies, there are customs that women after marriage will come to the husband's house only when she gave birth to a child. So, what kind of customs are there? There are polygamy, right? And nowadays, new trends are emerging. People are marrying to the robots, to the toys. So, what is it and what it shows us about the humanity, about the human nature or the human behavior? So, that we are trying to study. Not only that, the interest is from this thing, but in anthropology, we also dig into the past extinct cultures, right? And dating of the artifacts that we found across the world. And archaeology is undoubtedly a very adventurous discipline. So, that adventure will be there in that. When I speak something, it has some value, it has a knowledge, and it carries my cultural behavior also, my cultural learning also, my attitudes also. So, linguistic anthropology helps you to look at language from that perspective, that language and culture are integrated. They are not separate entities. Undoubtedly, language has biological basis, that you have vocal cords, the developed areas in your brain that allows you to speak in a structured way. But not only this, only biology does not give you this speech, this language. You may have speech from biology, but the language that you use is a product of your society, your culture. So, that study will be very, very interesting when you start digging into things, when you start exploring into things, when you start exploring through language into the human discourse, human nature, then it will be very interesting for you. Once any student picks up anthropology as a subject, I find that they cannot resist them from picking the books again and again. Even if you leave anthropology, you get selected, but still you will carry that anthropology throughout your life. And whenever you meet any anthropologist or any person who are researching in this field, you will find very interest. Whenever you read anything of anthropological nature, your interest will be at the peak, right? So, it is very, very interesting subject, very interesting subject. You will love it. You will love to read its books. You will love to apply its knowledge in solving human problems. Anthropology will bust your many myths about human societies, about your own cultural biases, and it will make you more human. Then third point is that its syllabus is very short and structured. Whatever anthropology have provided in your syllabus, they won't go much here and there, right? They won't waver from that syllabus, and most of the questions are direct from there. And not only this, that the syllabus is short and the nature of questions is direct, but the subject is static. Not much changes has been made for last 20-30 years. Undoubtedly, you can use the recent examples, but the subject as a whole does not undergo change, because the researches in anthropology takes time. If you want to do research in anthropology, it will take your 5 to 6 years. After it will get peer reviewed, and when it comes to the publication and to the UPSC it will take approximately 20 years. So relatively this is static, but yes, we will use it, we will apply our current affair knowledge, our knowledge from the present studies which are going on, to make it more application oriented, to make it more solution oriented, to showcase our knowledge, our thinking process to the examiner. That we will do, right? So why people choose it? Because it is short, it is static, the syllabus is static, and the nature of the questions in this is straightforward, direct. You will find direct lines from the syllabus. Let me read out few questions for you. In 2020 there was a question, senescence. The line is clearly written. This is a basically senescence is aging. It is aging, that means which lowers down the body's ability to survive. ठीक है, बुढ़ापा को हम सेनेसेंस बोलते हैं. एजिंग इज ए प्रोसेस, जैसे आप हर एक साल आपकी उम्र बढ़ रही है, बट सेनेसेंस मीन्स you are getting older. These are those changes which comes in post reproductive life, those deleterious changes which comes into post reproductive life and which reduces the body's ability to survive. Okay, so this is senescence. And the question was genetic engineering and ethics. This was a question, direct question. Cultural relativism, this is a direct question. Archaeological anthropology, this was a question. So the questions are direct. Then it has a significant overlap with GS. See, you have to study biology, you have to study science and technology, in which genetic and engineering, human genome project, and all these things you have to study, as well as some applied areas which are the research which is going on. Suppose nowadays COVID-19 is there, so various things associated with that, immunity, RT-PCR testing, the treatment, vaccines, all these things you have to study. So if you have studied anthropology, your perspective will be much wider, because you have seen the social dimension along with the biological dimension. So in that way, this overlap of anthropology or GS, prelims will be helpful in this way. Not only prelims, let me tell you about all 4 papers as well as essay, how the syllabus of anthropology overlaps. In paper 1, you have history, you have sociology or society, and geography, right? Geography and some portion of environment. So history includes prehistory and art and culture. In anthropology 2, you will have prehistory, the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, Chalcolithic cultures. Even there was a question on town planning in Harappa. That question can be from GS also. So there is a direct relation of history with anthropology, especially prehistory, art and culture. Sociology. In sociology, you can be asked the issues related to minorities, issues related to women, issues related to elderly, children, right? Or the issues related to tribal or scheduled caste or any other weaker section. The same can be asked in anthropology also, because paper 2, Indian anthropology, asks all these issues directly. So we will find that there are some questions you can see directly from one portion to the other. Then not only this, in geography, ecology and environment, geography is the study of earth as the home to the mankind. So again, that human geography related questions you can be asked. The conflicts in the development of transportation or industrial areas in the tribal areas can be asked. The ecological adaptations can be asked. So there also it overlaps with GS. See, anthropology will expand your horizons to study GS, whether it is history, whether it is society portion, or it is the portion of geography or environment. Similarly, in paper 2 you have governance, you have polity, right. So in paper 2 you can see the issues related to tribal administration, problems of weaker sections of the society and the ways to deal with them, right. You can also see the issues related to regionalism, communalism, and nowadays NRC and all these issues, Naga problem. So that can be directly from paper 2, right. So there is an overlap of anthropology with paper 2 also. Then bottom up planning, policy making, all these things are in paper 2. Next, paper 3, basically if you see, the paper 3 has some science and technology, internal security, right. So in internal security, let me tell you first, science and technology you all know, we have already discussed that in prelims also it can be useful, especially in biological part. So in Naxalism and understanding the problems of ethnic violence such as Naga problem, Jharkhand movement, nowadays there was a movement, Patalgadi movement. So all these things can be useful, right, to understand these problems, to find out a lasting solution, how we can find out a solution. Also in this there is the topic related to disaster management in paper 3. There also anthropology can play a very important role, because managing disasters require cooperation of the people, understanding of how tribals used to understand disasters. You know that when 2004 tsunami came, the Andaman Islanders do not face much problem or devastation, because they were aware of that. Jarawas and other tribes, they were aware of it, right. They can read nature much deeply than we can do. So this is why we can learn from the tribal people, and the same way we can understand the internal security issues, we can understand the ethnic violence and all these things. Similarly, in paper 4 is ethics, and ethics require the deeper understanding of society's norms, value systems, right. And in anthropology there is a concept which makes the foundation of anthropology. The discipline of anthropology is based on that thinking, that is cultural relativism. What is cultural relativism? Cultural relativism means that all cultures are unique and we must see them from their own uniqueness. We must not judge others from our own value biases, and this concept can be very, very useful in solving many ethical dilemmas. In ethics paper you are put across some dilemmas, and dilemmas can be very well answered if you have the knowledge of human behavior or you have the knowledge of anthropology. Finally, in essay paper, let me tell you that this year many essay topics can be directly seen as the essays from anthropology, right. So in that paper also it will help. Moreover, not only this, but anthropology have a holistic perspective. Holistic perspective means that anthropology looks at anything from multiple dimensions. You can start with geographical dimensions, historical dimension, social dimension, economic dimension, political, religious, ecological, and so on and so forth. UPSC demand a holistic dimension, holistic approach too. They don't want a tunnel thinking, a narrow vision. And administrators should have a wide vision. And anthropology can be useful in widening your horizons, your ability to think, analyze and process. And that is where our next point comes, that it is easy for the people from across the backgrounds, whether you are an engineer or a doctor or from humanities, it is equally good for all of you. In the end, I would like to say that anthropology will make you more human, and that is the requirement of today. So, just ponder over these details when you have to decide which optional you should choose. And I believe that this information can be useful in helping you to take a right decision. Thank you. We will meet in the next video, where I will be explaining every detail of the anthropology's syllabus. So, for today this is it, and we will meet. Thank you, take care and stay safe.